Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are learning chapter number 4, that is about arrays. And today we are going to learn about the type of arrays. We have discussed about this, what is the process of filling an array, how we can fill an array, what type of data can be entered in a particular array, what statements are used for filling an array. We have learned about 3 type of statements: input, read, and let statement. Then we learned how we can print a simple array. So printing basically means displaying the data of an array. That is known as printing an array. And 2 type of statements are used for printing an array: print statement and lprint statement. Print statement, why we use print and why we use lprint. If we have to print the content on the screen, then we will use print statement. And if we have to print the content using printer, so we will use lprint statement. We have learned the example also. हमने ये कल देखी भी थी कि how we can enter data in the elements of array and how we can print the elements of array. So describe the question which we will learn today, that is about the types of arrays with examples. So array can be divided into 2 types: one dimensional array and two dimensional array. Arrays जो हैं वो basically दो तरह की होती हैं: one dimensional and two dimensional array. Let's see what is the detail of one dimensional and what is the detail of two dimensional array and why they are known as one dimensional and two dimensional. One dimensional array. One dimensional array is also called linear array or vector array. ठीक है? This array consists of only single row or a single column. ऐसी array कि जिसमें या तो सिर्फ एक single row होती है, fine, या single column होता है, that particular array is known as one dimensional array. It is also known as 1D array. Clear? One dimensional or 1D array. Syntax. The syntax of declaring one dimensional array is as follows. So how we can declare an array which is one dimensional, having only one one row or one column. The syntax of declaring that particular array is written over here in the third last bulleted point. Dim keyword along with array name और parenthesis के अंदर हम उसका maximum index लिखते हैं. जैसे हमने कल simple arrays पढ़ी थी, the syntax of declaring simple array is same as the syntax of declaring one dimensional array. So simple array is basically one dimensional array. Either it would have a single row or it would have a single column. So the syntax to declare that particular array is, we will have to use dim keyword along with the array name and followed by maximum index. Maximum index is basically the size of that particular array. Okay, array name. Why there is written array name? It is indicating the name of array. The rules for naming array name are same as rules for naming variables. So whenever we will have to declare an array, we will have to specify the name of that particular array also. And to declare a name of the array, there are some rules. And what are those rules? Those rules are same as we had discussed in chapter number 2, which were the rules for naming variables. Max index. Max index, what is it? Why is it written over here in the syntax of one-dimensional array declaration? It indicates the maximum index value of an array. It is the index of the last element of array. So what is it? It is the maximum index value, or you can say that it indicates the size of the array, that how many elements would be there in that particular array which we are declaring. And it is the index number of the last element of array. Clear? So if we are declaring an array of 15 elements, so 15 is the maximum index value, and also it is indicating the last element of that array. Clear? So this is one dimensional array that would be having only one single column or a single row. Fine. It is also known as 1D array. And how we can declare a 1D array, the syntax for that is written over here. We will have to use dim keyword. We have learned the use of dim keyword, that why and how we can use it, along with the array name and maximum index. Why these two are used over here, we have learned the details of these also. The other type of array is two-dimensional array. So mainly the types of array which we have learned in the third slide, that was two, one-dimensional and two-dimensional. We have discussed one-dimensional array. Now it's the turn of two-dimensional. Two-dimensional array. As it is clear from the name that it would have two dimensions. Two-dimensional array is also called a table, a matrix, or 2D array. As we had learned that one-dimensional array is also known as 1D array. So same, the two-dimensional array is also known as a table or a matrix or a 2D array. Two-dimensional array consists of multiple rows and columns. We had learned a restriction in one-dimensional array that one-dimensional array can have either a single column or a single row, but two-dimensional array can consist of up to multiple rows and multiple columns. So it would look like a table. That's why it's also known as table or a matrix. Each element of this array is accessed using two index values. One index value would be used to access the row. The other index value would be used to access the column. So accordingly, each element of this array would be able to be accessed with the help of two index values, one for the row and one for the column number. The first index indicates the row and the second index indicates the column. So उन दोनों index values में से row वाली कौन सी है and which one is for the column? The first one indicate the row and the second one indicate the column. So two-dimensional arrays, they look like a table or a matrix, as they can have multiple rows and columns. And if we want to access any element of a two-dimensional array, then we will have to use two index values. The first index value would be used to access the row, and the second index value would be used to access the column. Let's see what is the syntax of declaring a two-dimensional array or a table or a matrix in basic language. So the syntax of declaring two-dimensional array is as follows, as you can see in the second bullet. Dim, again, you can see over here, dim keyword is used in both the arrays. Either the array is one-dimensional or the array is two-dimensional. Dim keyword would be used with both. And we know very well the use of dim keyword. Along with array name, this is the same as we had discussed in 1D array. But in parentheses, there would be two values now. When we will be working with two-dimensional array, then we will have to give two values, जैसे कि हमने पिछली slide में अभी discuss किया. First value would be for row number and the second value would be for column number. Array name, it indicates the name of array. This syntax, this is the explanation of the syntax now. Dim keyword, we know why is it used. It stands for dimension, and to declare an array we have to use this keyword. This is the syntax. Array name, it indicates the name of array. Then these rows, it indicates the number of rows in an array. How many number of rows we want to declare in that particular array, we will have to specify. The second value is of calls, that is basically indicating the number of columns in that particular array. So this is the syntax of declaring a 2D array. There are mainly two types of arrays in basic language, and those are one-dimensional and two-dimensional. One-dimensional array is also known as a 1D array, as it has only a single row or a single column. The syntax for declaring this type of array is written over here, as you can see. Then the other type of array is two-dimensional, that is also known as a table or a matrix, as it has multiple rows and columns. Fine. So the syntax of declaring a two-dimensional array is as follows. We will have to give two index values, one for rows and the other for columns, and along with the array name and dim keyword. Array name, over here also, the rules for naming this array would be same as we had discussed for the rules for naming variables in chapter number 2. Clear?